Now, Executive Suites with WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi.
Welcome to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nesi. Always glad to have you with us. And this week we're going to talk to two young entrepreneurs. One a little younger than the other, but we won't. We'll let them. You figure out who's who on that one. Later on, we're going to hear about a Bryant University student who has a chair to help you charge your phone at the beach, and he's running a Kickstarter to get that going. It's an interesting story. But first, I'm very glad to be joined by a returning guest on the show, Dr. Rajiv Kumar. He is the founder of ShapeUp Incorporated, founder and CEO of ShapeUp, which has just been acquired. So first, congratulations, and thanks for coming back.
Ted. Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
So first off, in some ways it's funny. We're going to talk about ShapeUp a bit, even though now ShapeUp is part of a bigger company, sure. But we'll go back in time just a little. Remind people, what is ShapeUp, what was ShapeUp before the merger, and how did it get started?
Sure. ShapeUp very specifically got started on a piece of notebook paper in the sciences library at Brown University one night when my classmate Brad Weinberg and I were studying microbiology. And I think we were a little bit bored, and our minds started to wander, and we decided that we wanted to do something to help people improve their health. And specifically, we saw an opportunity to work with employers to help them improve the health of their employees. And we wrote a little partnership agreement on a piece of paper, and we set off. And Brad was a computer developer, and I had experience developing ShapeUp Rhode Island a year before, which is really a community program to help people exercise and lose weight, leveraging the power of social connection. So we kind of put our brains together, and we created what was then called Providence Health Solutions, which ultimately became called ShapeUp.
And it grew and grew and grew. Tell us about sort of what the company, where the company was at the time you just did this merger transaction, which we're about to talk about, but how big it had gotten, how many customers did you have?
Right, we grew to about 135 employees, more than 100 located here in Providence, and we had about 800 customers, mostly in the U.S. We covered about 2 million employees that had access to our platform and our products.
So when you and Brad were looking at the napkin, and then as you the notebook, and as you grew the company over time going forward, why did you think employers were the person to target? You know, why not go straight to the workers? Why do you think this is the sweet spot?
Well, when I started ShapeUp Rhode Island, it was originally a community campaign, and it was designed for neighbors to invite neighbors and friends to invite friends. But interestingly enough, employers started to call in and ask if they could run that program for their own employees. So I started to do some research, and I learned all about self-insurance, that large employers are actually at risk for the medical claims of their employees. And I also started to realize that employers had a big stake in the health of their employees, not just because of medical costs, but also because of productivity. Right? There's a saying that if you take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers.
Right.
Right? And so to drive business results, you need a healthy and vibrant and
sick worker's not going to be a good worker, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right? So we thought this is a wonderful way to get an intervention to participants without them having to pay. Their employer would cover the cost, and it would have lots of benefits for the individual as well as for the employer.
Now, one interesting thing in that, if I remember right with ShapeUp, is that you can get the employer to come on board as your customer and sign up for the service, but that doesn't mean the employees have to participate, right? That's only the beginning for you of sort of the luring them in, right?
Exactly. That we get access to those employees, but then we have to market to them. And it's really a consumer marketing campaign when we go into a large employer. Some of our clients have 250,000 employees spread around 90 countries globally. And so we have to go in and figure out how to activate those employees and convince them that this is something they should spend their very limited amount of time that they have focusing on and participating in. And we've gotten very good at that. I think if ShapeUp did one thing well, it was really getting in at a grassroots level and getting people to form teams with their colleagues so that they can support each other in achieving their healthy lifestyle goals.
Yeah, I had a friend at one major Rhode Island employer who they would all take walks together on their lunch break because they wanted their ShapeUp numbers to go up or whatnot. So it definitely got through to them. So want to talk about the big news you made recently. ShapeUp has been acquired by a division of, I think this is pretty cool, of Richard Branson's Virgin Group. We all know the Virgin Airlines, Virgin Records, all that. Same Virgin Group. They have a lot of different arms all over the
Hundreds.
place. You're not joining the airline, right?
No.
So tell us about how this transaction came together, what it means for ShapeUp, and why you thought it was the right move for the company.
Right. Well, we were actually out raising capital to grow the business. We're in a very competitive space. Not a lot of people know about the corporate wellness space, but there's a lot of money coming into the space from venture capital firms, from private equity firms, and employers are spending increasing amounts of money to help activate and engage their employees. And so we knew we needed more capital. We needed to build product faster. There are all kinds of wearable devices that we needed to make available to our participants, and even mobile technology is moving very fast. And so we went out to raise money so we could enhance our product R&D. And while we were raising money, we were approached by a private equity firm. And that private equity firm is called Insight Venture Partners. And they told us that they had a plan to bring together a number of competitors in the space to build what would arguably be the largest employee well-being company. And they wanted to really create a dominance in the space and also to capture a lot of market share. And so they originally made a controlling investment in Virgin Pulse. And then about 6 months later, they came after us hard and said, we want ShapeUp to be part of that Virgin Pulse family. And then they also acquired a third company, which is called Global Corporate Challenge, based in Australia. And so when they came to us with that vision to say, let's be the biggest provider, let's pool our resources together, we can innovate faster, we can provide more value to our customers, the collective suite of products and services that we offer are now much more comprehensive. For us, it was a no-brainer, right? Yeah. We could have done it on our own, we could have raised a lot of capital, but now we have the benefit of all the work that these other two companies have done, all the resources that they have available, the talent that they've been able to acquire, and also the customer bases that they have. So collectively, we now have over 2,000 customers worldwide, and we've touched over 5 million individuals and improved their lives over the last 10 years.
And just before we go to a break, people are going to worry, well, you've been acquired, they're based in Framingham, you're bolting Providence. What's the future look like in Providence for the company?
We're not going anywhere. This is our home. We've always made it clear that we believe Providence and Rhode Island in general is a great place to start a business. We've been here for 10 years and we're committed to staying here. So our office will stay here. I'm staying here. I'll continue to lead the Providence office. And what I'm excited about is actually the acquiring company has a number of employees based in Rhode Island and in southern Massachusetts, and we expect that we'll be able to have those employees eventually be working out of the Providence office. So net-net, we hope to add jobs here in Rhode Island.
Music to everybody's ears. All right, stay with us. We're going to talk more with Dr. Rajiv Kumar about his new role at Virgin Pulse and what's going on with ShapeUp. What was ShapeUp? Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi. Later on in the show, we're going to hear about a Bryant University student who has created a pretty cool invention. It's a chair that can also charge your phone. We're going to hear about what he's working on with that. But right now, very pleased to be joined by returning guest, Dr. Rajiv Kumar. He's the founder and CEO of ShapeUp. You might know them. They're the wellness company out of Providence. They've just been acquired by Virgin Pulse, a division of Richard Branson's Virgin Group, becoming part of a bigger firm, but keeping a big presence in Providence, he said. So, Rajiv, I want to ask, I'm curious emotionally, I'm always interested in these with founders. When you got the final papers, let's say, and they said, all right, you signed here and your company has been sold and you're becoming part of Virgin Pulse, how did it feel? Was it, 10 years of exhilarating, bittersweet? What was going through your head?
There were a lot of emotions. First of all, these types of deals don't happen overnight. Right, so we had been working on this for months and months, and so I think the first feeling was exhaustion. You can imagine the reams of paper and legal work and that had gone into this. Right, we're working in private equity firms, venture capital firms, 3 companies coming together. That was overwhelming. It was an emotional moment. I called my parents. It was the first thing, and they started crying, and then I started crying. But it was a wonderful moment. I think I felt so proud of what we had built together, not just the employees that we have today, but all the employees that have come before and been part of the company, all of our advisors and our clients, all the people that have participated in our program, our investors. So many people are part of what we consider to be the ShapeUp community. And I felt proud that we had brought together such an amazing group of people and we accomplished something that so few companies did or ever do. And then I felt grateful, for all of their support and help along the way. So it was an emotional moment. I sort of liken it to maybe sending a child off to college. I don't know what that's like, but I can imagine that you spend many years investing in something and nurturing it, and then one day you have to sort of set it free, right? And it's not that it moves out of your life completely, but it has a degree of independence, and you have hopes for it and you have fears for it, but you get to still remain connected. So,
and that's a good segue, actually, because I was going to ask, you're staying, you're not, Charlie Kroll, when he sold Andera, which we're going to talk about a little bit, He moved on to something else,
Right.
other things. But you're staying on the merged company, right? What's your role going to be?
I am. I'm staying on. I'm committed to this space, and I think it has a really bright future. I'll be serving as president of the company and also chief medical officer. My role, I'll have several aspects to my role. I will still continue to take care of the ShapeUp customers and the ShapeUp employees. So I'll stay here in Providence and run the Providence office. But I'm also going to get to work in the area of analytics, doing more research. We've been working for years to show that our approach and the types of programs that we offer really do change people's behavior. And now we need to produce more research and be able to show our clients the analytics behind that. So
I'm super curious about that. So you see a ton of data, information on what works, what doesn't work, what appeals to people. Lots of people spend their lives fighting with their weight, fighting to get more exercise, whatever it is. Are there things that have stuck out to you that when you look at the data from ShapeUp users, you say, well, that really seems to work for people?
I think the number one way to help people change their behavior is to help them to establish new healthy habits, right? They say it's hard to get rid of bad habits, but you can crowd them out by helping people establish new healthy habits. And so we've done a lot of research with Dr. BJ Fogg, who's an expert out of Stanford University in this area, and we've figured out how to help people start with really small steps, right? Sometimes they'd almost seem comical, right? We want someone to floss their teeth. We might have them start with just flossing one tooth. And it seems really silly when people do it, and then they say, wait a minute, that wasn't so hard. I can go ahead and floss the rest of my teeth. So we help people sort of break the seal and then build that success momentum over time. And we do that across many different behaviors. What we found is that we can get that behavior change started. We need to help people sustain it over time. And there's really three areas that we've found that works. One is positive reinforcement, so feedback loops. Hey, congratulations, you flossed one tooth. Way to go, you're a superstar, you're a hero, right? People love that. I feel awesome, right? They want that feedback. So we've been able to use mobile technology, even wearable devices to push those messages to people as soon as they do something that's worthy of celebration. The second is the social support, so that they know that people are counting on them, cheering them on. If they fall off the wagon, they have somebody to pick them back up. And then the third is financial rewards. We find that rewarding people in certain ways, maybe it's a healthcare premium discount, maybe it's a gift card, that's another sort of carrot for them to go after. And so we kind of pull all three of those levers, and we can help people sustain really healthy behaviors over a long period of time.
So I mentioned Charlie Kroll. He, of course, his company, Andera, the banking software firm, I know you know Charlie well, of course, was probably the last really well-known Providence tech startup to be acquired and sort of hit that big milestone. Do you see any similarities between your experience and Charlie's, or any lessons for Rhode Island? Obviously, the state leaders would fall all over themselves to have more startups have the success your company has had and Charlie's had. Yeah,
and Charlie's a friend of mine. I think there are a lot of parallels between what he did here and what we did. And I'll say Charlie was a mentor and an advisor, and Brad and I always felt like we were maybe 2 years behind Charlie. So we'd always go to Charlie and get advice about what we should be thinking about and what pitfalls we should avoid. I think both Andera and ShapeUp took advantage of what Providence and Rhode Island have to offer. We both started out of Brown University, took advantage of the mentorship and the resources there. At ShapeUp, we participated in the Rhode Island Business Plan competition, and we won the student track back in 2007. We also won the Brown Entrepreneurship Business Plan competition. We had a Rhode Island Innovation Tax Credit for technology companies that came out of what was then called the RIUDC. And that gave some money back to early investors, which encouraged them to put money into the company. And then we did a lot of collaboration with local universities like Brown University Medical School and doing research and publishing outcomes that helped us to sell our product in the marketplace. So, and then we tapped into the technology base here. I even have some former Andera employees that are ShapeUp employees and now Virgin Pulse employees.
I think you shared a CFO, right?
Exactly, a CFO, some IT folks. So there's a collective pool of really talented people here that now have experience in working with multiple technology companies. And I think we were also a B2B company, right? So a software product selling to other businesses, not directly to consumers, and there's a lot of parallel between those businesses as well. So I think this is a great place to start a business like that. I think we have a lot of resources, and my only regret is that there weren't 100 tax credits given out in 2007, so that there would be 100 ShapeUps today, but I think there's still hope for that to happen.
All right, well, we'll leave on that optimistic note. Dr. Rajiv Kumar, founder of ShapeUp, congratulations. President now of Virgin Pulse, thanks for being with me.
Thank you.
Don't go away, though, because coming up next, we're going to hear from a Bryant University student about his pretty cool new invention. Stick with us on Executive Suite. Welcome back to Executive Suite. I'm Ted Nisi, and happy to be joined now by Nick O'Hara. Nick is a student at Bryant University, and he has, in my opinion, a pretty cool invention that we are going to talk about today. Nick, thanks for being here.
Ted, thanks for having me.
So first, just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts. I always had a passion for innovation and entrepreneurship. And I paired that passion with innovation when I went to Bryant University, where I'm studying computer information systems and minoring in communications.
What year are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. All right. So you've been at it a little bit, but finish line not quite in sight yet.
Not yet.
I want to talk about your invention. It's called the charging chair.
Correct.
And you brought the prototype with it, and I think we'll be able to show the viewers. And I want you to tell us, what is the charging chair? And once we have it up, tell us about sort of how it works, what exactly we're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. So the charging chair is a beach chair that can charge your smartphone or any device powered by USB. As you can see on the screen on the left-hand side, there's the charging unit. And you can see there's 2 USB outlets where you can charge 2 devices at once. Most people will charge their smartphone, but it can charge your tablet, your Kindle, a GoPro, a Fitbit, or anything like that. And there's a small button there as well, so you can turn the chair on, and it shows the battery life in the chair.
Oh,
so
nice.
You know if it's going to die soon.
The little holes in the
Yeah,
side?
the 3 LED lights,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. Now, the biggest thing I think people think is that their phone's going to overheat because it's going to be in the sun. But we invented a phone sleeve, so you can put your phone right in there, so it stays safe from the sun.
That little spot in the bottom
Exactly,
there under the USB?
Yeah, right below those 2 USB outlets. And another cool little feature, you can't really see it, but it's holding the cord up on the charging unit, is a little cord clip.
Okay.
So you don't want to get your cord ruined by the sand or anything like that, so you can just clip it right under there, and it charges all day long.
A charging chair, I love it. So where'd you get the idea?
So believe it or not, it actually wasn't my idea. About 7 months ago, my sister came home. My sister's 25. She graduated from Bryant University. And she said, Nick, I was at the beach. My phone was dying. Can we think of something to, fix this problem? And she said, I wish I could just strap a solar panel onto the beach chair and charge it. And, we started thinking about that. And I was like, I got the solution, charging chair.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the idea was born. Originally it was a solar power
I wanted
beach
to ask
chair.
about that, how you get the power for it. Because
Yeah.
you'd think you're at the beach, you don't go to the beach if it's raining, so you
Right.
have the solar power,
Yeah.
but what happened with that?
So you would think it's the perfect situation.
Yeah.
You're at the beach, but unfortunately, actually, the solar power technology really isn't there yet. So when the sun goes down and hits the solar panel, it has to convert to the battery, which will then convert to the phone to charge it. And it's just not efficient enough. It's 80% efficient, and then going to the beach, going to your phone, there's a small conversion rate as well. So power just gets drained out as it goes through the process. So we decided to do a lithium polymer battery, which allows you to charge your phone. On average, your phone lasts 8 hours. With the charging chair, it'll last over 18 hours. So you get an extra about 120% out of your smartphone.
Now, are there any concerns about the heat hitting the battery pack in there and everything? Because again, the whole point is you're going to lay this thing out in the sun,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
It's going to be baking in the sun.
Right.
So that was a concern, obviously one of the first concerns. And what we did to fix that problem is we have the battery insulated inside. So the battery isn't the top layer on the beach chair. It's under a few different layers of plastic and some insulation material. So you don't have to worry about your battery exploding at the beach.
Okay, gotcha. So
Yeah.
you got the phone sleeve, you got the power in there, you got everything.
Yep.
How heavy does this make this chair?
So it's actually 8 pounds. The prototype is a little bit heavier because it was made from wood to cut costs. But only 8 pounds, and you can carry it using 2 ways: either the fabric handle, which is pretty convenient, or the backpack straps. So you can be hands-free and carry your other chairs, towels, umbrella, whatever it is.
All right, you've thought this through. So
Yeah.
as I said, it's a really interesting idea. I'm actually surprised it's not really out there
I was
already.
surprised too.
But
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
many inventions are. So
Yeah.
so to get this thing going, you're obviously a student, maybe not a lot of capital, if I remember my student days.
Almost none.
So you've started a Kickstarter to try to
Exactly.
get this going. What's your hope with this? How much are you hoping the Kickstarter will raise, and what will you do with the money once it comes in?
Yeah, great question. So the hope is that we're going to raise $50,000 on Kickstarter. And what that allows us to do is fund the first 1,000 units of the Kickstarter campaign. And that's the minimum order quantity for the manufacturer that we have set up in China. So the Kickstarter is really cool because it's kind of risk-free. You can go on and you can buy a charging chair for $55. And if we don't hit our goal, then you don't get charged. So if we hit our goal, then you get this awesome product and you get charged on April 1st. But otherwise, you don't have to worry about it. So it really is risk-free, and you don't have to worry about investing in something and not getting the product you were promised.
How's it going so far?
It's going not too bad. It's been about 48 hours. We raised just over $4,000. Of course, obviously, I'd like it to be more, but it's going pretty well so far. I can't really complain.
Now, tell me about how you figured out how sourcing it in China. I don't think as a college student I knew how to source products in China.
Yeah, so that's always the thing. I always ask myself, what do I have to do next? And so I had the idea, and I said, okay, well, what now? And I said, well, I need an engineer to help me build this. And so I just Googled different engineers. I cold called a few of them. I found one I could trust it and more importantly afford. And I've been working with him, and he's developed multiple products before, Fred Hayes. And so has manufacturers in China that he's used. And so not only is he acting as my engineer, but more so a mentor as well. He's kind of showing me the ropes and giving me those connections that have helped him in his past.
Now, did he build the chair, the prototype chair for you?
Yeah, the prototype that we have here today is the only charging chair in the world, and he built that himself.
Have you sat in it? Does it actually work?
Yeah, it's perfectly. It's a working prototype. Yeah, it works really well. And yeah, so it's basically modeled after a traditional beach chair, and we just threw our custom arms on there.
That is fascinating. All right,
Yeah.
so you've had a little success already with this, right? I think
Yeah.
Bryant has a business plan competition
Exactly.
went pretty well. What'd you get out of doing that?
Yeah, so they had a business plan competition where there were 5 alumni who were also venture capitalists, and I presented my idea there, and there was about 8 students who competed and 4 who presented who were the finalists. And I took second place in $2,000, which was great because I put $1,500 of my own money into it, and for a college student that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it was great to more than double how much money I had to put towards the idea. So that allowed me to really advertise for the Kickstarter so far.
How about time-wise? I assume you still have classes and stuff.
That's correct,
and other
yeah.
things you're doing, and social life perhaps. So how are you finding the time to do the charging chair thing while you're doing everything else?
Yeah, so the Kickstarter does actually take a lot of time. There's a lot of prep work. And so I was lucky enough to time it up to do a lot of the work over my winter break. And so I did the Kickstarter campaign. We shot the video. I talked to different UPS,
Oh, it's
FedEx,
pretty cold out in
shipping.
that video.
Yeah, it's pretty cold out. Yeah, really cold out. So really, as far as school goes, of course, schoolwork comes first. I find myself staying up later at night to work on the project, kind of send it out there, get feedback from people, post it on social media, find people to blog about it, just kind of getting it out there.
So how's your experience been at Bryant? You are just the kind of student we think of with Bryant, kind of already got that entrepreneurial
Yeah.
spark and going out there. I know my friend Lou Mazzucchelli, who's been on the show,
Lou's
is working
great.
there now. So do you find that Bryant has what you need to spur you in this direction?
Yeah, Bryant's been unbelievable in helping this process. I've had a few different ideas, and Bryant actually has a Jackson W. Goss Prize in Entrepreneurship, where a student, all they have to have is an idea, and they can apply for $500 to $5,000. And if the committee thinks it's a good idea and thinks they could do something with it, then they're awarded with it. I received it my sophomore year for an app I was pursuing, and I won $3,000. And it was just an idea. I got to pursue it. It didn't end up going anywhere, but they gave me that opportunity to pursue it, which was amazing.
Chance to try something even if it's not going to work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you expect to be the charging chair Steve Jobs? What's your long-term plans?
Yeah, so the long-term plans, I want this to be successful, kind of my first product, and kind of prove it out to see that people really want this. Now, after that, the product life cycle, it only lasts so long. It goes to market, the market adapts to it, and then it kind of dies out. My goal is to, once the market adapts to it, start working on the next big thing. And so hopefully I can make another type of beach product, because I'll already have that beach community that accepted my first product. So I'll already have a bunch of emails and a bunch of customers who would want another product similar to this.
All right, Nick O'Hara, we wish you luck. It's the
Thank you.
charging chair. How do people find the Kickstarter?
So just go to Kickstarter.com and search charging chair, and there it is, and you can pledge right there.
All right, you're going, how much is it to get a chair if it all goes well?
Yeah, the first 100 people will get it for $40.
$40 if you sign up. So
Yeah.
$40 charging chair if Nick meets his goal, and your phone, you'll be able to watch every Executive Suite episode at your beach chair, just as you've always wanted. So thank you, Nick, for being here. Thanks,
Thanks, Ted.
Rajiv Kumar. And thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you back here next week on Executive Suite.
Great. Thanks.